Augusta National, to many the most beautiful sight in all of the land. I'm sure CBS Sports analyst Verne Lundquist would agree. He joins us now on the show. Verne, thank you for taking the time. Let me ask you this. No matter how many times you've been to Augusta, does it ever get old? And if it does, you know, I'm free this week, so you can always call me up.
No, it never gets old. I always hearken back, inevitably, when I make the turn off Washington into the television entrance, which is a separate entrance from where all the golf fans park. Every time I come down that road, and it's anything but Magnolia Lane, but I think back to my first one, which was 1983, and I got into the CBS compound, and the director then was a wonderful, wonderful man named Bob Daly. And Bob came out and said, he was the first one I saw, and he said, "Welcome to the Masters." And he was a big, tall drink of water. And he said, "I know you think you've seen it on television, laddie, but get in the cart. I want to show it to you myself." And we got in the cart and went down by the par 3 course. And the entrance for us, you can either go right and come out by the Butler cabin or go left through the nursery and then come out right on the 11th fairway. So my first view live of Augusta was with Bob Daly, who had done the original direction in 1956. And we came out at the beginning of Amen Corner. And I think back to that every time I make that drive. So, no, that's a long answer to a short question. It never, ever gets old.
A special moment, I'm sure. A very special place. Last year, the winning score, -8. In 2007, Zach Johnson won at +1. That's quite a range. Where do you see it falling this year, Verne?
Well, I haven't seen the course yet. I will tomorrow morning. Unless the wind blows, and I guess the forecast is pretty benign for Thursday. We've got a chance of rain on Friday. It'll move through, and then the weekend looks great. So I see a chance of lower scores, somewhere maybe 6, 8, 10 below. I think only if the wind dries and we have horrible weather will we be, we've had some tournaments like that, but up there around even par or even above.
Let's talk about Tiger for just a minute, going for his 5th green jacket. Verne, we kind of saw him take the pressure off himself at Bay Hill. What do you expect this weekend?
I expect him to win. I really
very
do.
Simply, that's a very short answer.
I really do. Somebody asked me after he was beaten 4-2 by Tim Clark in the match play, well, gosh, did he come back too soon? And then here we are last week with this marvelous finish. I mean, I think he's back in full control of his emotional and his mental and his physical abilities. And when he is, nobody has been better, and nobody is right now. So, I mean, I know he's going to be in contention. I mean, he may, have trouble with the blade or something like that, but I expect to see him lurking on Saturday and in the hunt on Sunday.
Nobody is better, but what about another Top Gun in Phil Mickelson, 2-time Masters winner, 2-time winner this year already. We even saw him win at Doral when he was sick. Verne, what do you think about him this weekend?
Well, I mean, he's one of the great golfers in the world, and I wouldn't be shocked whatsoever because, he made his breakthrough at Augusta a few years back and then came back, and he's off to a wonderful start. So, I mean, I think you go through the one thing I believe, we've had a couple of short-hitting guys the last 2 years, Zach Johnson and Trevor Immelman, but I think length pays big dividends at Augusta, and then obviously, touch around the greens and putting. So the bigger names, and you've just mentioned 2 of the biggest, I'd be shocked if they're not in contention.
You mentioned the big names, but you also mentioned Immelman winning his first green jacket last year. Is there a guy like that? Not many people picking him going in. Is there a guy like that you can expect a breakout performance from?
Well, it always happens, but it's never the guy I pick. So
it's funny how that works.
I'm going to retire on my lack of laurels. I've been so wrong so many times, but that's part of the joy of being down there. Somebody will suddenly get. I mean, I've picked Charles Howell III, I don't know, 6 times, and Charles, I've given up on you. Augusta native, and he was always Adam Scott is a young man who gets mentioned. There are a lot of very young guys out there, but I wouldn't deem myself knowledgeable enough to pick one.
You're bad at picking. How was your bracket?
Well, you want the golf bracket or the other one?
The other one.
The other one was destroyed early on. I did not join. Well, I got to say this: 3/4 of the country picked North Carolina, so I don't. And I know our president did. I'm not shocked to see them win, but I was shocked to see Michigan State get into the Final Four. I saw them play twice this year. They had a wonderful run, but last night, I mean, we saw the best team in college basketball. That's the team that everybody thought we were going to have all year long. So my bracket busters occurred in the second round. I didn't last very long.
Verne, before I let you go, let me talk about Greg Norman for just a minute. Has had a nightmares at Augusta, hasn't played there since 2002. He's 54 years old. Do you see more nightmares this time?
Well, I think we were all thrilled to see what he did at the British last year. But I think the challenge is so formidable. He's got ghosts, and I'm not suggesting that he's psyched out by the course. I don't mean to say that at all. But of any player of world-class stature, he has more ghosts lurking in more corners at Augusta than anybody I know. If you just take the 10th hole and throw it out over the course of the number of rounds he's played, he'd be a champion. I think it's wonderful that he's back. I think it'll add an allure to the tournament, but I don't expect him. I think he pulled magic out of the proverbial bottle, just to resort to a cliche, at the British last year, and I just don't see that happening this week at Augusta.
Verne Lundquist, thank you so much for your time. We appreciate it.
You betcha, anytime.
All right, don't forget Masters Live right here on CBSSports.com. I'm Lauren Shehadi. We'll talk soon.